A very good afternoon to you. It's been a spectacular week here in Donegal. The weather has been exceptional and once again proven correct. I always predict a good end to September. It's our Indian summer. Shane, you've been flat out all morning and we've finally got you stationary for a few minutes to have a wee catch up. How are you?
Not too bad yourself. Aye, out keeping everybody happy with parcels there. So, apologies I didn't make it last week, or maybe it's 2 weeks ago now. But just a bit worse for wear after a stag. So, back at it now. Plenty to say since.
Oh, completely understandable. And again, big thanks to Daniel for stepping in because obviously me filling the void here as well is not nobody's choice. You know, we need to have the back and forth banter and always the Liverpool v Man United axis is the center of this whole show. So without further ado, we have to talk about a very big weekend last weekend, and of course a big weekend for yourselves. An incredible showing against Chelsea in the end in the rain in Manchester, and quite frankly, it's a win that was just what the doctor ordered for Ruben Amorim, where on the previous show we were really talking about who's going to replace him.
Aye, a good result. I suppose the setting off affected the game savagely. Now, the first setting off, a big one. Look, and as I said the last time I was on, coming into the first 5 games, I didn't expect United to get anything out of. Well, maybe about City. They're never too bad against City, but out of the first 5 games, I expected 6 points. I think they're on 7 as far as I know. So they're a point better off. I know people want Amorim gone and so on, but Jesus, I don't know, 7 out of the teams that you're playing against. Like your man Goldbridge there, he says that Chelsea, City, and Arsenal all outspent United and all finished and are around 10 to 12 places above them last season. So what else would you expect with a defeat? And people can say, God, how the mighty have fallen, the United man saying that, but Jesus, you have to accept where you are too. It's United are nowhere near it, and that's where they are, particularly last season and maybe the year before. So I didn't expect anything. They should look the Arsenal game without going back too far. Take the goalkeeping mistake out of it. There's a point there. City battered them, fair enough. And Chelsea probably handed them a result. I know Casemiro didn't make it very easy, but which we might chat about it, but I don't think that's a second yellow, to be honest, in that game. When you see what Cucurella got booked for, jumping with 2 feet from a yard away, that's hardly the same thing as what Casemiro. Look, Casemiro's stupid to give him the opportunity to do it, but no, a good result. Pity Sesko's not going at it now. Sesko's, I'm trying to get a wee bit. If Sesko's playing on another club, I'd be taking a hand at him. So it needs to start clicking shortly. I don't buy into the adapting to a league and stuff like that. It's a green area. I said an FT to end it. You're getting paid an awful lot of money to do it. So I don't buy into it because there's plenty of players throw that notion to the one side. Look at your man up top. He's new to the league and Jesus, what has he already? He must have. Was he 7 or 8? Oh, in all competitions? No.
I guess
there we are. 2.
He scored in the Community Shield. He scored in the first 2 league games. So he was off and running, and he scored then, obviously the other night against Southampton. So he's off and running. He's up and running in the league. And I want to stop you at that point. I enjoyed what I seen from Šeško on Sunday, and I thought very much so United were the threatening side in the opening minutes, and the very determined point of attack was the wing backs putting service into the box, and Dorgu and Maz were certainly putting in some high quality balls into the box, and Bomo was getting involved. Šeško was winning a lot, and Casemiro was really getting about the pitch as well up until the red card. He was really doing what you had asked of a United midfield was really putting the foot in the ball and bossing Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. And the goal, it's, my God, talk about splitting hairs again. We're drawing lines down through arms again, and Bruno Fernandes is on the right side of the decision this time. Again, the big man. 100 goals for Manchester United in 200 appearances. It really just speaks to the fact that he's the modern age talisman for Manchester United and still is the exception to the law in terms of how you assess United as a quality team at the moment. Now, you point out something correct now. Like we can eulogize about Man City sitting on 7 points, and we can be sort of dismissive about Manchester United sitting on 7 points. Now, United's come through a fairly hellacious schedule. They've played Arsenal on day one. They've had the derby, and they've had now Chelsea at home. They've come through, and they're actually sitting not too bad, point off Chelsea, leveling points with City. We're both considered in there with the third and fourth spot with their names written on it. So, getting to the red cards, Robert Chance is just a maniac between the sticks, and he's liable to do something crazy like that. The professional foul is cut and dry, absolutely takes him out. Violent conduct comes into that scenario as well, because it's such a poor contact on Mbeumo as well. I'd be lifting that to a 3-game ban if I was to be properly using the letter of the law on that decision. But as it was, he walks. The Casemiro one, I don't even like the first booking. The first booking, it's even like the conditions were as such that when you do go to ground, you're sort of adding a certain degree of slippage to the thing. And I thought, no, the first one was soft, and then the second one, you can't do that on a yellow. The challenge is good. Takes the ball. I really think a hand on the shoulder is not enough to warrant a yellow card. So it's not too card happy by the referee, and he's probably trying to level up the playing field a bit to make it a bit more competitive game in the second half. And sure, look, Chelsea come back in the second half and get one through Trubo Chalobah. But United hold out, and that's an excellent 3 points in the end. So, results game, Amarim's doing just about enough.
Well, you see, as you say, there is that City are on 7, led by the Messiah of football, and Haaland, who seems to be leaner and quicker and better than ever, as good as I think I've seen him in the Premier League. And you have Chelsea, who've spent fucking €5 could spend on feeding people over 2 summers, and as you say, they have a head case, and that's why they didn't go for Donnarumma. That's madness. But why is one manager being? I don't look. Fair enough, he can go back last year and say, "Oh, he's has 1% since he's landed, isn't great." But to be fair, it's gone way back. Pep took over a team that won a couple of titles and has spent whatever since. Who's in there now? Marasca's come in, and Chelsea's always been knocking about. Always decent. Amarin took over a mess. Like, he's still trying to clean up the mess. Why has he been? Look, as I'm always beating his own, United sell papers. They sell column inches on Twitter, Sky Sports, TalkSport, places like this. Without United, there is no party without United. And the same with Liverpool. If Liverpool falls away, there's no party without them either. That's why is one man on 7 points saying he needs to go with a team who still needs a lot of work, but then another 2 men, they're grand. I think it's very unfair. Now, as I've said, he'll die on the sword of Fernandes in midfield, though. I think he's been stupid continuing that. As I said before, and Casemiro did it to a certain extent, just put a dog in the midfield and have someone who can play with the ball, and he's not disciplined enough. If United start getting overdone, Fernandes isn't disciplined enough to stay where he's meant to stay. So an old man and Casemiro is not going to hold back three midfielders running at him, or depend two midfielders, whatever's coming at him. So that's the thing that's going to sack Cameron, as his threatness, not the system, bullshit in the system. I'm not a big man for stats, but United are first in all of attempts and everything so far this season. So the system's not working. Maybe the personnel in the system might be great, but particularly Fernandes, he needs to stop. Now I don't know where he put him. They should have taken 100 million for him. I know it's Bruno Fernandes and Mo Salah are two men who, on paper, look like if you showed stats in 30 years' time to two young fellas, they would be like, Jesus Christ, they must have been two great footballers. But neither of the two of them are great footballers. Two of them are very good stat patters, but neither of the two of them are great footballers. And that's what's wrong, is that United are leaning so heavily on a man who like take his, I don't know, his performance-wise drops often 3-4 out of 10, and that's, people call him the best player. Well, if your best player is dropping less than 5 out of 10 a lot of games, then you're in big bother. It's as simple as that. Like, look at your man in midfield, that's probably the best player so far this year, and Gravenberch. What's he dropping compared to Fernandes? Now, Fernandes might be a wee bit out of position, but I don't buy in completely into that out of position. Fair enough, out of possession, he might get caught out, but he doesn't have the cop on when he's in possession to sometimes play that 4-yard pass instead of always going for the Hollywood one. And that, so you're just turning over the ball right away then if it doesn't get to it, it's meant to go through. So I think I'll back Ammer to the hilt to the point of him sticking with Fernandes in the field. So I don't know what he's going to do. Like Brentford tomorrow, I'm not even sure who they have in midfield. Good to see Cunha back though. I think Cunha and Mbeumo will turn out to be two savage signings altogether. I like Mbeumo now. He's work rate and he is good on the ball too. I just hope Sesko starts. Like, he's going to put Mount back in again tomorrow. I would say Cunha will go through the middle, Sesko will get dropped, which I don't know. I don't know whether Mount is at either, so I will stick with Sesko for a while yet.
Okay, you'll be talking about Jordan Henderson tomorrow midfield, so daunting task ahead for Manchester United. With,
yes.
Brentford up next. Speaking of Jordan Henderson, the Merseyside derby happened at the weekend, and Liverpool squeezed past David Moyes' charges, 2-1. An absolutely electric start. They were superb in the first half, and really, to sum up the entire thing, once Everton scored, the game descended into a 90s bog of a pitch. Absolutely quality absent. Just settle for the 3 points and get out of there. And ultimately, again, that's another side of the team that I believe they have, that if enough is already gained, they're prepared to sit and not damage themselves. They'll sit in 4-4-2 and not damage themselves. And they just about get away with it. Jack Grealish is superb on the day for Everton. I think if I'd be right, I'd be thinking Ali McCoist would have been desperate to give him man of the match, but no, you couldn't not pick the current number one for player of the season, Ryan Gravenberch. He was absolutely mercurial. Scores a wonderful Van Basten-esque volley to open the scoring. And it's just 3 points in the bag, nothing special about it. Another derby win, another loss for David Moyes at Anfield, and quite a brave stretch now. He's now established as a visiting manager of visits without a win. Did you catch much of the game yourself, Shane, or anything in the aftermath?
No, I seen what everyone matched the day was. I didn't see the game at all. A couple of things there. If there was ever a man who uh, who leaves a club and shows as and proves when he leaves. Now we knew what he was before he went to City, but Grealish, it's lovely to watch. Grealish, it's lovely to watch a man who's willing to go on a man and beat a man. And look, he still throws himself to the ground, and that's part of his game. But isn't it great to see now? He was led by the Messiah of football for 3 years there. He had 2 years sitting on a bench, which tells his own story a bit, Pep. But it's great to see him playing so well, and it gives Everton a wee bit more. Everton are just a grand outside their workman, like, and they just truck on. But he's definitely added a lot to them. But what can you say about Liverpool? It's I don't know that you have it on the agenda or not, but this league has been portrayed again year after year after year as being the best league in the world and so on. It's mad that it's over after 5 games, and the reason I'm going to that is because I would say Liverpool tops will drop. Maybe I don't think they'll drop. Maybe drop 20. I don't. Somewhere between 15 and 20. So they already have what? Was it 5? Many points of a buffer have the on. Now who's chasing them? Not who is second. I don't even know.
They have 5 points. Yeah,
5.
And it must be Arsenal. It's Arsenal or Tottenham.
And is it 8 or 10 they have in City?
So
United have 7, and they're 8 off them.
They have 8 points in City.
And City are definitely going to drop more points. What I mean is that the rest are not going to. Arsenal and City aren't going to stay anywhere near perfect, so they already have 5 points built up. So they have basically 2 to 3 results to work with. And City and Arsenal are definitely going to drop more points. So it's mad that it's over. People say, "Well, how the hell is it over after 5 games?" But it is obviously far from mathematically in that. But Liverpool deserve it. That's hard for me to say that, but it's. I don't like this notion about they're playing bad and getting results. They're obviously playing that bit better than the rubbish that they're playing against. Plain as simple as that. Like they've beaten Arsenal just with a free kick, but your Arsenal team, I don't know why Arteta doesn't start a bus company. He's an absolute joke. What's wrong is the chasing pack is rubbish. Like you watched Klopp, and I think Klopp deserved 3 or 4 titles in his time if he wasn't dealing with corruption. And Michael Oliver, he would have won more, but at least they were decent to watch, and they went down to the last couple of games. Look, and I know Arsenal pushed Liverpool to a certain extent last year, but did anybody really believe they had it in them to push on? I mean, Arteta coming out after the game and saying that that's the first time in 17 years that Pep's been dominated. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
City gave up possession, and Arsenal went over and back and over and back. And that was off the cuff stuff as he done at the end for them to win their game. That's not Arteta's tactics. He never does that. It was a run, great finish, great ball, great finish. But that's not. I mean, sure, all they want is throw-ins and corners. But sorry, I'm getting away from the Liverpool. It's the chasing pack is the reason I think the league's over.
It's all tied in. We're talking about where the points be dropped elsewhere that really enhances Liverpool's hand.
Well, like Liverpool, who are away to Palace this weekend, I don't see them having bother with Palace. Palace are decent, but they've lost a few men since even you play them in the. Oh well, Eze. Did they lose another? I don't know, but sure, Arsenal have Newcastle. I don't know who City have now, but Arsenal have Newcastle away. I don't see 3 points there.
I don't see them beating Newcastle. To be honest.
No, it might be a draw, but that's potentially another 2 points behind, so that takes it out to 7 points. It's a pity. Like I don't give a shit about the league. It's not going to affect United. As long as we get into the top half. I see we're not even in the top half, but still. And it's hard to watch Liverpool. It'll be a procession, but it's a bit of a balls to this league. It's going to. going to. And I'm not being sensationalist by saying that it's over. It's just I don't see Liverpool. In fairness, they aren't playing that great, but I don't see any bother ahead, and I see plenty of bother ahead for the other two. Like City weren't even that great last week against Arsenal. They get the goal, Savage here. That's him and his pomp. But geez, outside of that, you know, as there one player outside of Haaland, you mightn't even take him, and that City team that you would take. You know, into the what we consider the best. I don't think there is. There's nobody in the defence you would take. I don't think the keeper. Maybe
Guardiola. Maybe Guardiola
on the left hand side.
Yeah, the way he's a bit like hybrid. He's able to do a bit of left back and a bit of left centre back.
Aye.
I see a bit of value in that currently, to be honest.
Like your man Reinders, he didn't. That's the first time I've watched him now. He didn't. I don't think he stood out. I think he was grand, but I didn't.
He was good against United, but no, maybe the Arsenal midfield's a different ball game.
You know, when is Arteta going to go and try and win a game? What is with these teams kicking for touch as well?
Well, this is it. If he is going to finally get over the line in the league in one of these seasons, he's got to finally start taking a bit of a risk in the big games and trying to win them, because quite clearly the points are no longer the proof is in the pudding. How many more times do you need to see it? How much more evidence do you need? A draw in the big game is not going to be enough by the end. So this is why we're saying now we're still in September. We're about to hit October. You certainly won't have any mathematical equations balanced now, but you'll certainly have a lot of the real hard work done. You'll have a lot of the hard work done in the first couple of months of the season, which is a real bedding, a real footing for actually winning the title then later on. Hopefully sometime in April. But you say a lot. Look, hard for me to totally buy in when obviously I've got a lot riding on the thing, and I see the house of cards always teetering with, you have an injury to Leone, the fourth choice centre back there during the week. Rather unfortunate, but confirmed there this morning that he's now out for a year with the ACL torn. It really makes the Mark Guéhi deal not going through a real glaring error now to not have that one go through. It maybe puts a real bit of emphasis on Joe Gomez really staying fit and really providing much more of a solid appearance record than he's been able to produce for the length of his Liverpool career. Because Van Dijk will have to put in another ever-present season. Konate's already sort of projecting that he's gone in summer. There's real that's a real point of weakness that I can see sort of developing now. Like, you might have to see Endo do a bit of centre half now for the remaining part of this year, so we can get into January and hopefully revisit the Guéhi deal, because obviously the bedding in period thing, it's no longer there. We were going to require our fourth choice centre half sooner rather than later, because just for the first time, the 3 games in a week sort of popped up there, and even the League Cup game, it ended up being competitive enough for the backups. It still needed, the big two to have a part in it, and obviously a bit of madness by Ekitike means he's now out of the Palace game, and quite incredible that I would say long enough in the game now, know what you can and can't do in celebrations, especially when you're on a yellow card. So just as when I say Liverpool could be unstoppable, there's just a couple of wee things that's just starting to sway the House of Cards, in my opinion, Shane.
Well, see we've mentioned Casemiro's second yellow there. There's a couple of things, and it's a bugbear of mine in football look, and I thought that it was meant to be like this woke thing that you're not supposed to be showing your body or whatever. That's the reason that yellow, they're taking your top off, But I see a lot of them are wearing thermals now, so he literally had rain underneath. So, but anyway, it's mental that you can pull a man's jersey or hack a man down who's heading off on a counter attack in a good position, maybe 2-on-2 or 2-on-1 or whatever, and you can just kick the ankles off a man and it's a booking. But for the same thing, now, fair play to Slotty that come out and he's right in saying, look, if you score a screamer and so on and you just lose it on yourself, pull the top off, run and jump into the crowd, you get it. Look, your man was stupid for doing it. But I think that's a law should be looked at. I know I'm going away a wee bit from it, but as that hacking a man down in a counter attack, it's the biggest load of shite I've ever seen. That needs to be brought in to be a straight red because there's no, even if he's still 70 yards from goal, he's only heading away from your own 18-yard box. It's of no benefit. Your man's happy to take that. Like as everyone says, oh, you took the yellow for the team. No, you take a red for the team. The game's it's meant to be about scoring goals. So there's an opportunity for some man heading away, and he's just hacked down. Like I think it's a stupid rule. That there's not a more jeopardy in doing that. And then a man then can lose it on himself a wee bit and pulls his top off and jumps into the crowd. They shouldn't be the same. That's madness. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that you weren't allowed to be showing skin. That's why that rule was brought in because it's a bit of a stupid rule. Because unless it's because you're slowing down the game because you have to be obviously fully clothed to start the game again. But I don't know what the reason. And I thought that was the reason for it was that it was to stop men taking off their tops. But maybe it's not.
I think the thing as well. The first booking was maybe the real stupid one. I think he chucked the ball straight in the air in like frustration. So you really have to cut that out now. You can't you can't be whinging through the officials anymore. That there's an automatic yellow card. So stupid, no other word for it. We're short-handed again up front, and I just think now probably Federico Chiesa, who was quite decent against Southampton. I think he's going to start having a bit more of a bigger role now in the forward line. He's the extra man. He was the man that didn't find his way into the original Champions League squad, and he will find himself in there now. It's confirmed they will try and make that swap. Leone out and Chiesa in. So one wee brief touch on this. Isaac, not world class according to former Chelsea, Leeds, Middlesbrough, and Netherlands centre forward Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Is he a good judge of a top goal poacher for nowadays?
Well, I suppose that's where we're at. This is football's all about opinions as well, and it's hard. You'll hear on one hand, I suppose another bugbear of mine of modern day football is literally if you walk in a straight line, you're world class, and that's the bother. I think I've seen that thing you're on about. I've seen he went through a full round of boys, and who is world class and who's like he put Sesko down his potential. Now maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know how much of Sesko Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has watched. Maybe I'm complete. I would say limited amount, but I'm sure he still watches the Premier League. He works on whatever shows. You can't argue with what Isaac's done this couple of years. And I don't like calling people world class because in my last 10, 15 years, you would have Messi and Ronaldo on it there. You're world class players, and everyone else is just a wee level below them. Whoever is the next in line, because Hasselbank could call. I bet you he probably calls Bellingham world class. So how can you call the likes of Bellingham world class, who is as average as fuck, and then you call a man then like Isaac, he's very good at what he does, not world class. I know it's opinions here there, but I would definitely have him as world class at the minute.
I think we called him best of the bunch in the Premier League anyway.
Aye, himself and now Haaland doesn't always impress me, but I liked him last week. That goal last week's one on the ball and the pace that he shows and the finish.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I really appreciate what Erling Haaland does, and he brings a lot of ice to the Premier League and all. But just saying, who I would rather have on my side, I would still just rather have Alexander Isak, and that's just pure down to taste as well. At the end of the day, Shane.
Pound for pound, Isak he's a nicer footballer to watch. Haaland can be a bit awkward, and he throws himself about. Like, I like him for what he does. He's physical, and he's, to me, he's a man could have mixed it years ago, not a problem. With that power and pace, like some of the men he's done to the road. That's one thing I'll say, and I've been harsh on the likes of Van Dijk. Van Dijk wouldn't have got as exposed as them Arsenal men did last week. I thought they were awful for the goal. Like, I don't know whether one just gave up responsibility to the other for it. Jesus Christ, like he ghosted through them like they were schoolboys. I couldn't believe how bad they were for that goal, because I would consider them the best back four now. The four of them that can't cover the middle, but I thought they were brutal for the goal. But coming on to Hasselbank there again, he has to make it. Mbappe, I suppose, is everybody's. Mbappe and Haaland and Isak's bound to be the three that people want through their middle. So he has to be in the top three in the world. At the minute, he definitely. This last couple of years, he has to be. I don't see who else is. As I said before, who's next on me? Them three that I've mentioned. So I don't know. Some of these boys say stuff for effect as well. Did he not put Porro as? What did he put him as in that? I think he put him above Isak, did he? Or maybe he put him as potential.
Hey. I need to go and thoroughly examine this whole thing. Who he put where?
He definitely he wasn't sore on Porro.
I hope
there was
limited space for world class players, and he had to then assign everyone else to different categories. I
don't think so. That's the thing is, look, I suppose the way you should look at world class, and I suppose there can be a couple, but if you're the best player in your position, and look, everybody names a 4-3-3 to shoehorn certain players in. So as Isak, I suppose if you went like that, you'd still have him in your front three at the minute. You'd put him somewhere in the front three, because he can definitely play out off. Does he play out off the left? Does he?
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, yeah.
Aye. So he's definitely in your front three. So at the minute, he's in a world 11, in my opinion, anyway. I know PSG and them have a few, and you can't look past.
Well, you heard.
Shout out to the
You heard here first, folks. Shane Freeze says Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is wrong.
Yes.
Charlie bet time, and I'd like to report we have a winner.
Oh, very good.
The previous show, we had Champions League to look forward to, and we selected Real Madrid, Tottenham, Liverpool, PSG, and Inter for a grand total of 9.2 to 1.
Yes.
It eased home.
Aye, I was thinking, was one of them sticky? A good shout.
So we're playing with a kitty this week, anyway. Shit.
Good stuff. Well, seeing as I'll leave it to you, Game. Seeing as you're on a roll, so I won't interject.
Well,
I do think United are a decent. I know I'm biased maybe, but I do think United are a decent price tomorrow. I know it's the early kick-off and they're away, but I don't know if you have them in it or not. But I would assume not.
I don't like the early kickoff anymore after selecting Man City.
Yes.
So
I don't know what's worth the early kickoff, but
as much as I like United, where I had predicted, look, if they came away from those few fixtures before the international break, they came away with 6 points, it'd be the minimum requirement. If they come away with 7, it's a bonus. But you look, they're 3 up already, and they're playing Brentford and Sunderland. They have to beat Brentford. So
yes,
I'm with you there. So I'll put up this 3 for you. So I'm going to say Tottenham will beat Wolverhampton at home.
Yes.
Newcastle and Arsenal will draw, probably 1-1.
Aye.
And then on Monday Night Football, West Ham and Everton at the new ground, whatever the hell it's called. Everton to win at home against a terrible West Ham team. It's coming out at about 7-1.
Jesus.
Tottenham, Everton, and a draw in Newcastle and Arsenal game. 7-1.
Aye. Sounds good.
Season on a hot streak anyway, Shane. I think I think that's worth the wee tenner bet again.
Yeah.
So look, Shane,
Definitely.
I don't want to occupy any more of your time this wonderful, glorious Friday afternoon. I'm sure you have plans abound whenever you have all collecting done, and I will head off and start earning the money again. But great to have you back to my left again, and thoroughly enjoyed that. Shane, would you like to have a final word before we leave?
Aye, well, I suppose just because I know we're going to concentrate a bit on local football as well, but they're a big shout out to the local teams, Kerrykill and the Strand and Fanad, and I suppose the teams across the bridge there too, Cranford and so on. And although it's a football show, but a shout out to the Gales reserves there as well as in the semi-final of the championship. So the best luck to them as well. So back at it now for the winter. Sitting on a bench or letting hailstones bounce off you and so on. So looking forward to it. It'll pass a Sunday, if nothing else.
Delighted to hear that, Shane. Delighted to hear that. May you stay fit.
Well, how do you define fit?
Well, without the usage of cooling or heating spray.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. But no, good show. Glad to be back.
Good show indeed, Shane. Well, we'll call it a day here, folks. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed. And we will see you, hopefully, in the not too distant future. Adios.
Good luck.